ASMR for you. Welcome back to another episode of Sippin With Sin, the podcast where we talk about stuff and things and stuff that are important to everybody in the world. That's right, every single pair of eyeballs, ears, face, head, feet, whatever. It's important to you. It's true. It's factual. It's science. Proven by people way smarter than us, so don't question it. It's the number one podcast of stuff and things. Factuals. Take it to the bank. Just trust me. We have another episode, another fun bunch of things to talk about. But first and foremost, what GFUEL are you sipping today, Sin? Well, I have been in the laboratory making concoctions. I don't know why, but I have taken upon myself to just start mixing flavors and see what happens. Today, I am doing Ice Shatter, which I believe is blueberry lemon, and Berry Blast, which is, I think, blueberry strawberry, but I could be wrong. And it's a very berry tasting GFUEL today, but it's been good. I will say probably my favorite mixture so far is Murder Corn, Ultimate Murder Corn or whatever it's called, which is sour rainbow candy mixed with gummy worms. Straight fire. Oh my God. The sourness of the rainbow candy mixed with the gummy worms just makes like a wonderful concoction. So it's really good. But I've been doing that. If you have any GFUEL flavors you'd like me to mix, let us know. Comment. Tell us. Hit us up on the socials. But we got 7 things to talk about this week. So without further ado, let's bring back our one and only, the Mr. Dreadlock himself, Mr. Christian.
How's it going, everyone? It feels to be back for another week to talk to you guys about all dirty things that live rent-free in my brain and in my heart.
That's right. So what we'd like to do to start every week and every episode, we like to talk about what we're watching, reading, listening to, playing this past week. So we're going to let Christian dive right in and talk about what he's been into.
It's been a light week for me, guys. So I'm going to do this pretty quick. This week, you guys know I had a birthday recently, and I got to celebrate a little later for that. But I did get a couple of things. I got a new book because I'm a big nerd. It's called Little Heaven by Nick Cutter. I remember talking to you guys about another Nick Cutter book that I read a while ago called The Troop. And I sung that book the highest of praises. So as soon as I start reading Little Heaven, I'll let you guys know where I'm at on that and keep you guys updated and let you know when I get to the end how much I liked or didn't like it. So I'll keep you updated, but that's one of the things that I'm doing. Also, I treated myself for my birthday, and I've been wanting to play some old school Pokemon real bad. For those of you who don't know, I love old Pokemon. I like the first 3 major arcs and starters and whatnot of Pokemon, but I really wanted to get a feel for the original ones. So I wanted to get an emulator to play it, so I didn't have to pay $500,000 to play these old Pokemon games again, finding the old systems and the old games. So I bought a emulator online that has all the Pokemon games loaded onto it, and I ended up on the Ambernick, and I'm trying to remember which model it is. I think it's the Ambernick RG35XX, I want to say is what it's called. Looks like a little Game Boy. Here it is right here. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can see it. It's tiny, fits in my hands. I got huge hands. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got double triggers on the back. Like I said, definitely looks like an old school Game Boy. And it's cool, man. I really do like it. I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Leaf Green in between sleep and work. As you can see, if you're watching, I'm turning it on currently so you guys can see that it works. It's got a ton of games on it, but there is another one that I'm actually looking forward to getting. And one is actually, here you go right here. Here's Pokemon Leaf Green. It's loading up right now on the screen. For those of you watching, you can see it on the screen right now. The little star is shooting across the screen. I'm pressing the A button now so you can see Venusaur in his glory, and bam, Pokemon Leaf Green version. There you go. So, like I said, I've been playing a little bit of that. But there's another emulator that I want to get that plays GameCube games and Wii games. So at some point, I'll treat myself to that, but that's going to be down the road because emulators kind of get expensive depending on what you want. So for people who want to play like PS2 games, PS3 games on an emulator, it gets expensive. And I'm not like the hugest, handheld gamer these days because I'm so busy. But yeah, man, I got that. So I've been playing that. I'm going to read this book here soon. So that's been my week mostly. I haven't really been able to watch much. Some of the stuff that I looked at, we will talk about. And there's so many movies out. I remember last week on the podcast, I talked about wanting to see a couple of movies that I didn't get to see, but there's still quite a few that I really want to see. The Last Voyage of the Demeter, Strays dropped at the time of this recording, I think yesterday. There are the
Strays
Barbie
looks
movie I still
really
want to
funny.
see. Oppenheimer I still want to see. Which one?
Strays. It looks really
Strays.
funny. Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch.
Looks
that.
like a good time film.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff that's available right now coming out that I want to see. So I got like catching up to do. But like I said, life is lifing right now. So I'm just I'm riding the wave. But that's my week. That's what I've been up to, guys. That's what I've been doing. I will be catching up on Warrior as well. I don't think we have any episodes of that left, so I'm gonna keep watching those and letting you guys know how that show's going. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and I've been playing. I will say this: I have been playing Ghost of Tsushima. I've been playing the hell out of that game. I love it so much. I want to play it right now, but I got stuff to do right after we record. So if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, or if you had played it, play it again. If you haven't played it, you need to start. That game is fantastic. I love the story. I love the graphics. I love the combat. Everything about that game is smooth. It's so good. It's so good. I think I talked about it last week, but good God, I could talk about it all day. I love that game. So I have been playing that in my spare time. But aside from that, guys, that's about it for me. What about you, Sam? How's your week been? What have you been doing?
Well, the internet worked for part of the week. First part of the week, pretty much tried to stream to it just going out. It went down, crashed. Monday, Tuesday, it went down completely like 3 times, and I tried to push through, so that was very frustrating. But last 2 days, though, it's ran pretty silky smooth, so I've been playing a lot of Farlight this week. Still playing that. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. But time of recording this, your boy just got access to the MK1 beta, so I am extremely excited to play that. And next week's episode, I will definitely give you some thoughts of me finally getting my hands on it. I believe, and I could be wrong, the beta characters, and this is without me loading it up. I haven't played it all. I did see a few people fighting. Mostly who I saw fighting was, I think I saw a little bit of Johnny. I saw Sub-Zero, and I saw Liu Kang. So I think it's Johnny, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Li Mei, not Kenshi, and who else? There's like 6 fighters, right?
Yes.
I can't remember who the other one is. Who's the other one? Do you know? Johnny, Kenshi, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Li Mei, and who's the 6th? Katana, I think.
That's right. It is Katana.
And then the cameos is like Kano, Frost. I don't know. Maybe Sonya. I don't really remember the cameos. I know I saw Frost and I saw Kano.
Yeah, you had that correct. It's Kenshi, Katana, Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, Li Mei, Johnny Cage. Those are the playable characters. I'm not sure about the cameos. Full disclosure, I've watched about 6-7 matches of MK1 with some people who kind of understand the controls a little bit more. It's not like high level playing, but close enough. And one of the people that I was watching preferred Li Mei. He's playing her pretty much the entire day. Some of her combat skills are a little broken. I won't lie. I'm sure she will get nerfed. She is really strong, really easy to string combos with. She has this paper lantern that she has that's like mystified. It looks like it's kind of like a Cassie's drones from MK11. And if you jump up and hit that, it knocks you back into a combo that you can string into. So like, yeah, I've seen a lot of Li Mei gameplay. She's definitely somebody that you can zone out with, and when you get close, she's got a lot of combos up close too that you can amplify. I will say, from what I understand, amplifying
Did you see Liu Kang
is a little
gameplay?
harder.
He has like a crazy fire dragon zoning attack. I was watching Perfect Legend. For those that are familiar with the fight scene, Perfect Legend's been around for a long time. He's been around probably as long, if not longer, than like Sonic Fox and people like that. He was fighting Liu Kang. He was doing nice strings, and then I guess I don't know what the Sub-Zero was trying to do, but he ended up just zoning the piss out of him in like the second round, and dude quit on him. And I was like, wow. But that fire dragon ground attack looked nuts. While we're on MK, before I forget, shout out to Yobi. Yobi called us out on it. He said he believes since MK11, or maybe even before, that the combat pack is 6 characters. For some reason, I thought it was 3. He's probably right. I honestly can't remember, but it does sound...
Yeah, I think it's 6 characters.
It is 6. But you don't get all 6 at once, though, right? Isn't that the thing? Like, you would get one, then you'd have to wait.
Yeah, with the
Okay.
combat packs,
Yeah,
they
because I
they
didn't remember
typically
6 being
release.
dropped on you.
Yeah, they typically release like one at a time. They like stretch it out to keep the game's life going. Full disclosure, I have a tab open right now where I was watching someone play Mortal Kombat, but the people that I've constantly seen being played are Johnny Cage and Lee May, and the cameos that I've seen a lot of have been Sonya, Frost, and people are using Kano. I'm not a huge Kano fan, but like just to get a character off of you, like I've seen a lot of that going on. But yeah, most of the matches that I've seen have been legitimately the matchup is Lee May and Johnny Cage. The cameos kind of vary, but it's mostly Frost and Sonya Blade. But yeah, I've been watching that, and the game looks great. Obviously, I'm going to be getting it day one. I'm going to get the version that has all the combat pack stuff available for it. But still, the only problems that I really have with the game, cameo system, how I can see how that would be annoying. And then the other thing is some of the characters right now. I mean, it's going to change for sure, but some of the characters are better than others, and you can tell that just by the beta. That's why the beta exists. But like I said, by the end of the weekend, I'm sure that'll be changed.
Uh-oh.
And one other complaint that I had that I actually haven't seen too much of during this beta, when we were watching all the videos, you remember that mechanic that they added in like Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, I want to say, where if you beat up on a character, the face gets all mangled and they're all bloody and gross. So it stays like that through the whole match. Like I noticed that in the videos, and I didn't really like that too much. Like I understand why that exists. I understand that people like that mechanic. It's just not for me personally. I haven't seen as much of it during the beta. So some of the characters don't look like super heavily mangled. So like when you win a match, if somebody does a fatal blow to you and you win a match, your character just looks absolutely wrecked. Like I've seen a little bit less of that, so that's cool. But you still get all bloody and have crap on you. So that's been happening. But some of the complaints that I had leading into this have been satiated way more just by watching the matches that I've seen. So I'm super pumped to get this game, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more here in a bit.
Oh yeah, next week we'll definitely go in. I'll try to get as many notes as I can. Hopefully I can get a bunch of stuff. Hopefully I can get time to play it this weekend to really dive in. I know me and the missus are both excited to try it tonight. But other than that, I also got access to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I haven't played it yet. I've been seeing people. I know there's server issues, which it's launch, and with it being cross-play, I think with most next-gen consoles. I'm not really sure. It's a little different. I'm sure there's issues, but I'm excited to try that and see what's up with it. I didn't play the tech test or anything like that, so I'm stoked to don my Leatherface gear and run around doing chainsaw stuff. And then another game I actually found out about yesterday. I think I'd heard about it in passing, but I didn't really pay attention. Was called Wayfinder, and it dropped. A lot of people have been talking about that. I know they're having a really, really rough time with servers right now. It's a MMO action RPG, I believe, or something like that. It's different. It's
Okay.
like, do you remember the game Dauntless?
Yeah.
Okay, so to me, it reminds me of that art style. So I'm kind of curious. TJ was actually telling me about it, and then others in the stream last night were telling me about it, and they are trying to play it. But a lot of people are having issues getting in with the servers, so hopefully that smooths out. And we can check that out and see what's up with that game. And yeah, so that's as far as games. That's pretty much all I've been into. On a side note, Christian, you're aware of Slaughter to Prevail, right? I'm sure you are.
Of course.
Okay, you know the front man, Alex Terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the video of this dude sitting down like we are in chairs doing a song without touching the mic like it isn't anything?
I have not seen that video.
Oh my God. So I don't know if this is true or not. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Joshua Travis watched it. Someone submitted it to him. I think someone called out Alex Terrible and was like, all your stuff is like manufactured or overproduced or whatever. Like, you can't do that stuff. This dude sat down, had the same mic I'm using, pulled the foam off of it where it was just the basic, like the actual microphone part. He sits like I am, those on YouTube. And he does the whole set, like the whole song like this. Just this, like the gutturals, the crazy noises, the high, like it's not shit. I watched it and I was like, God dang, sitting down and doing vocals is hard as hell. This dude just made it look like it wasn't nothing. And then afterwards, he's so pissed off, he like slams stuff and walks off like, screw you. How dare you insult me? God, dude is a straight beast. I actually want to listen to more Slaughter Prevail just because the dude is a monster.
Yeah, I've been on a Slaughter Prevail kick for a little while, and I just watched a video actually this morning. Full disclosure, and it was him doing that weird guttural scream that he does.
The crocodile one?
I've been calling it, the crocodile one, and I was just like, I don't know how he does this, but
like he rolls a guttural. So those out there that are not familiar with metal, when we say guttural, so you have like highs, which are like your high piercing screams, like your higher end, like the yeah, like that kind of stuff, and then gutturals are more your like low, super bassy, almost like you're burping Coke, I guess, or something. Like you have one of those like a like that kind of thing. And this dude does super nasty gutturals to start with, but when he's doing that, he's somehow rolling his tongue or something where it gives like a like, it's so freaking weird, but it's actually dope at the same time. Like any kind of weird stuff like that people can pull off and can pull off well, I'm like, damn, props. That's freaking tough. Like as a vocalist, like I'm impressed.
It's really cool, and obviously we're both big metalheads, so listening to a band like that's super heavy, that has really good, powerful guttural screams and growls is really nice to hear. It's really groovy. So I love them.
Have you seen his live video? I think it was a fest where he's got a thing he does now where he puts the mic down and tells the crowd to be quiet and then screams without a mic to lead into a breakdown. And then sometimes he'll pick up the mic and like hit himself in the head, and he'll like, he's busted his head open a few times. This dude is freaking nuts. But I'm like, I mean, that's a good front man. This dude's like controlling everything.
Yeah, he's got excellent crowd control. Yeah, excellent crowd control, I would say. Oh. But yeah, man, I really love the guy. But I know that today is one of those days where we're short on time. So I know that you had something else that you wanted to talk about.
So we talked about this last week, and I have finally been able to watch Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And this is a movie that Christian really hyped up. And if I was to rank Into the Spider-Verse, correct? That's the first one. Mm-hmm. Is it Into? Yeah, it's Into, Across, and then...
Into.
I can't remember what the third one's called. Beyond
the Spider-Verse, yes.
I would easily 9.95. Pushing a 10 for the first one. Like, me and the wife both loved it. The art style's super dope. Music's really, really good. The acting's good. Like, the voice acting. Like, I was very interested in the whole thing. So, of course, Across the Spider-Verse was something that I was going to be very excited to see. And we watched it. And I have to say, Christian, you damn lied to me. This is one of the worst damn movies I've ever seen in my life. I made it 3/4 of the way. I was like, I'm over this. This is stupid. Gwen's hair's dumb. Miguel's an idiot.
Who's an idiot? Miguel?
Yeah. Boo-boo shoes. That's what it is. Tired of Peter and his baby.
I'm tired of Peter and his baby. That's the quote of the year so far.
Just like the first one, I would rate it right there with the first one. 9 at the absolute lowest, a 9. I'm going to say about a 9.5. I want to push to a 10 for both, but it's fantastic. The way they differentiate like the different dimensions in the art styles, I think is super freaking awesome. I love that. That's a wonderful touch. Gwen Stacy's fascinating to me. I thought she's really cool. I like the differences in her world. Oscar Isaac, which I didn't know was Oscar Isaac for a while, as Miguel.
Oh, yeah.
Is pretty freaking sick. Miles is amazing. I love Miles Morales as Spider-Man. I really do. Peter and his baby, which is weird, but at the same time, me being a father, I'm like, look, it's my son. He's a little Spider-Man. I'm just going to put a little thing on your head and let you swing around the house because you already act like that.
Yeah. Good old May. Her name's May, but they call her Mayday.
Mayday? Like Aunt May?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So I have questions though. I have a lot of not really questions, but my thing is, first and foremost question. So, can we just call him Miguel? Spider-Man 2099?
Sure. Yeah, Miguel's great.
Okay. Miguel. Why does this dude got fangs and claws? Is he like when Peter... I'm referring back to the old cartoon. When Peter was turned into like the man spider thing, is that what's going on with him? Or like, what's his deal? Why does he have fangs? Why does he have claws?
So he isn't like a typical Spider-Man. That's the thing with him. He doesn't have he didn't get by a radioactive spider like a lot of the Peters did. So here's the thing. To make it super simple. Most of the Spider-Men in the Spider-Verse, not just the movie, but in the comics, all of comics, most of the Spider-Men that we see are Peter Parker, variations of Peter Parker. However, there are Spider-Men and there are Spider people in the world that aren't Peter Parker, that didn't get bit by the same spider he got bit by, so they have different powers. They got their powers a different way by different means, and those are typically the characters who aren't typically Peter Parker. But he does have enlarged canine fangs, kind of like a vampire, if you will.
Yeah, he kind of growled like a werewolf or something. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, if he bites you, those fangs secrete like venom into your bloodstream that paralyze you. His toes and his like fingertips like kind of have like these retractable claw talons on them, and that's how he crawls on walls. That's why his hands look like little claws in the movie, but it looks stylized. But like that's legit his hands in the movie. Like in the comics, he can retract those for sure, so he can look normal. But that's how he does his wall crawling thing. But they can get into like cinder block and shit, and that's how he gets into the walls typically. But yeah, man, he is a different type of Spider-Man because his I'm trying to remember, his was like a experiment type thing. It wasn't the spider that bit him. It was a little bit different because he's from the year 2099. So Spider-Man had already come and gone at that point in the comics, so he gets different shit. And I'm trying to remember exactly what it was because a couple of months ago I had to answer this question to quite a few people, my partner included, because I know what scene you're talking about. It's the scene where they're fighting the vulture and he almost bites him and then doesn't.
Yeah, because I was like, whoa, where did that come from?
That's everybody says that same thing. So I get it, man. I get it. Yeah, he's a different type of Spider-Man. He has different powers. He's not a villain. He's not a bad dude. Like he got hooked on this drug in the comic that he was on, but it wasn't by choice. Like it happened to him. It's not like he was, just like a junkie or whatever. Like it happened to him. They did a lot of terrible shit to him, and his whole thing was taking down Alchemix, the company. But yeah, man, it's crazy. But he does have different powers. He can bite people. When he does, it paralyzes them. He's not a vampire. But yeah, and his in the comic books, his eyes go white, kind of like Broly, for an example, for the Dragon Ball fans. Like when Broly turns into his legendary Super Saiyan form and he doesn't have pupils or anything anymore. That's kind of what happens to Miguel. He doesn't have his pupils anymore. So it's a lot of stuff going on with him that's a little different. And like I said, most Spider-Men characters have different things going on with them. So that's why, for an example, Miles has pretty much the same powers as Peter, but it's a little different. I could talk about this for days, but the easiest way to explain is kind of like I already did. Every single Spider-Man that's not Peter, their powers work a little different because they didn't get their powers the same way that traditional Peter Parker did. So that's what that is.
Okay. He seemed really interesting, kind of dickish, but I was very fascinated with him. He's also a very different body type than Spider-Man we're used to. He's more of a bigger, muscular, buff Spider-Man, when Peter's usually more of a slender build. Miles is a slender build. They're not big guys. He almost reminded me of like a Venom-ish body type.
Mm-hmm.
Which was
I will say I will say if you go back into the Spider-Verse, the first one, Miguel shows up at the end of the movie for a post-credit scene, and it's still voiced by Oscar Isaac. However, he doesn't have that build. He is slender because his character is supposed to be slender. But for this movie, when they were actually animating this movie, they wanted to make him look different, bigger, a little bit more menacing, so he could look a little bit more like a dick, like he was a problem. So they changed his body type and gave him the fucking Dorito back, where the top of your triangle, then it tapers in. Yeah, they did that specifically for the movie. He looks like regular Spider-Man in the comics and in the video games, everything else. But for this, they wanted to change him up so like younger people, kids necessarily, would know the difference between what Spider-Man's what. That's why he looks different.
So before I go on next questions, couple things. First off, I am about 99% sure that near the beginning of the movie, when Miles is in his room or whatever, or around his friend or something, that the Spider-Man game is on the TV.
That's very true. That is it.
Which I thought, I was like, I mean, Sony, it makes sense. Like, it's perfect product placement. What else would they be playing other than the Spider-Man game? Then I absolutely love the fact that we had the shopkeeper. I don't know her name. The shopkeeper from Venom.
From Venom, yeah.
And then you see Toby, what's his name? Toby, Christian, where you at?
I'm right here.
Toby what? What's
Maguire?
Yeah. Why was I struggling with that? Toby Maguire's I think Uncle Ben dying. You see that at one point. You see Andrew Garfield mourning. Gwen Stacy's dad, I believe.
Captain Stacy.
Yep. And then I don't think you see Holland. Anything Holland?
You don't see him, but he is mentioned.
But you see essentially like bringing the universe full circle all together. I loved that. Like, when those moments happen, the missus was like, oh, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, really, really cool parts. God, there's a lot of really good stuff. The music in it, fantastic. Loved it. So good. So, next question. First off, it's really cool seeing so many Spider-Man alternates that you can play as in the game. Like the costumes you can switch to. Not necessarily the character, but you can wear the costume. Yeah. Now, my question for you is, there is an abundance of Spider-Men and women and creatures in this movie, like a plethora. How many of these are actual comic book? I don't want to say canon, but are actually in comic book, like have their own stories or have whatever. Because that isn't a lot. And if that's the case across the world, Jesus, at the amount of Spider-Man and women and creatures, I don't want to leave anything out because it was literally anything and everything was a spider something in this movie.
Yeah, 80 to 90% of the spider people that you meet in this movie are in a comic, a video game, and some weird adaptation like a movie.
Do they have their own stories through
TV
comics?
Show, an animated series? Like 90% of these spider people that you saw were actual spider people from Marvel canon. I will say there's a spider character that you see in the movie when Miles is escaping from the Spider Society thing or whatever. And there's one Spider-Man who has like headphones on, I think, and like a black and white suit, I want to say. And he's like, there's no way for you to escape. And then Miles goes out the window and he was like, I'm sorry, guys, there was a place for him to escape. That one they made up for the movie. That's actually the person, his name is escaping me right now, but the guy who actually makes the music for the soundtrack, that was him. They made him a Spider-Man for the movie for his own cameo. I can't remember his name right now. But that they made him up for sure. But like the Spider Cat you saw, the Spider T-Rex, all them, those are characters, 100% Hobie characters from the comics. All those characters from the comics.
Okay. Like there was, what did I see? I mean, I don't even know. There was a spider.
I have something that I caught. I have something that I caught while movie that I don't know if you caught that I want to bring up, but I wanted you to kind of go through your
What's
things.
That? What you got?
But I want to know. So I want to know if you caught this. But if you go back and watch the movie again, to everybody who hasn't seen it, I forgot to say this like forever ago. Spoilers, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it.
the movie's been out a little bit. We're sorry. This is spoilers. We're talking about it now that we've both actually seen it. So apologies.
Yeah, but for all of you that have seen it, I'm asking you guys, and I'm asking Sin. Did you notice that in this movie, the only spider people that helped Miles were the like black characters? Did you notice that? Hobie helped him immediately, showing him how to use his palms. He also helped him by telling him.
Also, I didn't realize seeing the cast.
Is.
I didn't realize that's dude from Get Out, Daniel.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yes.
Yeah, it's him. But he helped him a couple of times. He helped him, telling him to use his whole palms. He helped him by letting him know that
Gwen helped him.
No, she didn't. That's the whole thing. So Gwen, here's the thing. I'll get to Gwen in a second.
Hold on.
Gwen in a second.
Who are you saying helped him?
Listen.
Okay.
Hobie helped him.
Yeah.
And the girl who was in the virtual spider suit or whatever to send him home, she helped him.
Okay.
Those were the characters that actually helped him. The two black characters.
What do you
the
mean
other
by
black
help?
spider
Like
characters.
actually like. Because. What do you mean by
Not
help?
only do they guide him, but they help him in the movie. So during the movie, the beginning of the movie when they're fighting the Spot and Miles is trying to use his venom blast to blow up that thing. So Hobie was like, dude, use your whole palm, use everything. And that helped him. And that helped him later in the movie against Miguel. It also helped him with a couple of other things later on that we saw in the movie. But also he told him, know what war you're fighting before you join the cause. He said that to him, but right when he met Miguel for the first time. And because when all of the other spider people were saying, oh, our Uncle Ben's died, our Peter's died, our whatever's died, they all became captain and then they died, blah, blah, blah. And yours has to die too. Like, we can't change it. It's a canon event. And all of the other spider people,
by the way.
All of the other spider people were like, yeah, we're sorry. This is how it goes, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you all knew? And then when he started getting pissed off, look back at Hobie. Hobie was like, yeah, now he's seeing it because he knew what
because
was
he's an anarchist.
It's not just because he's an anarchist.
Because I feel like he's anti-establishment. He's like, I'm here to help, but I also want to watch the world burn at the same time because I don't give a shit. Like, that's the impression.
Yeah, that's like the
kind of how he is.
That's like the underlying part of his character. But when Miles started figuring out that everybody knew about this and didn't tell him, and he started figuring that shit out, he was like, yeah, that's right. That's what's up. And it's not because it was creating chaos. It's because he wanted this other black kid, to know what was about to happen. Because nobody told him. They all hid it from him.
Wasn't it because he wasn't supposed to be a Spider-Man? Part of the reason they hid it from him?
It's not just, it's that too, but it's not just that. It's because Miguel was like, you can't break the canon. Like, this terrible event has to happen to you. But remember, Gwen's dad is Captain, right?
Right.
He quit because she revealed her identity. And Miles said that he was just going to tell his parents at the beginning of the movie. And Gwen told him not to because it won't end well because of her perception of what was going on with her dad. When she went back home, she got sent home and realized that her dad quit and he was going to live. Then she was like, oh, shit, I got to go help Miles. Like, I want to help him anyway. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Gwen's a piece of shit or anything. I'm just saying after she got what she wanted, then she was like, okay, I can go help Miles. There is a way to save his dad and not break the canon and kill the universe, blah, blah, blah. So then she went back to help him. But she still got hers. She still got her, which is great. But her tragedy isn't her dad dying in her universe. Her tragedy was Peter dying. So that's
which was
how
the
she
lizard, which is
–
kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, what the hell?
I keep forgetting that you haven't read those comics, but yeah,
so I personally really love the canon thing. The way that they're like, look, all Spider-Man, no matter what dimension, what kind of spider person you are, these are the things that have to happen to make you Spider-Man. And it sticks to the canon. I personally think that's fantastic. Like, I was like, this is the foundation of Spider-Man. As we know it, it makes sense, and I don't know, it's awesome. They're crushing it with these. So I will say I completely forgot that they had already announced it was a 3-part.
Oh yeah.
So we were balls deep into it. Like, all right, here we go. Let's go. It's time to do stuff. Coming, or what is it like, to be continued? I was like, mother. And my wife was like, you've got to be shitting me. And I was like, oh my God, we got to wait like a year or something probably.
Got to wait more than that.
Oh,
because
don't say that.
The studio, we were lied to. They told us that they were already working on the movie and on next year. But after Spider-Verse came out, the animators for the movie were like, what do you mean? We just finished that movie. We haven't even started on the. It's going to be a long time.
That sucks.
So it's going to be a while, bro. It's going to be a
so
few years before we get
this says it made $686.7 million.
Yeah, dude, this movie made hella bank.
So I have to.
Hella bank.
I gotta ask. So you've watched the various Spider-Man. As far as like film adaptations, where do you put this as far as like the others? Because to me personally, I don't know if this is going to catch heat or not. This, honestly, the Spider-Verse, Miles, like these two so far, probably are my tip top. Just from start to finish, I found them fascinating. They're fun to watch. It's not overly, there's humor, but it's not like overly done. There's action. The art is top tier. The music's top tier. Like, you have a great cast. I feel like it's up there for me really, really high. I would say probably top.
Okay, I misunderstood the question. You were saying, where do I rank these amongst all of the theatrically released Spider-Man
like the
films?
Yeah, like the movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to answer the question, but I'm also going to remind the viewers, because I know you know, but everybody listening, everybody watching on YouTube, my favorite Batman movie of all time is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It's animated, came out in theaters, it's short, it gets to the point, it gives you an origin for Batman without giving you the origin for Batman. But it's a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic movie. It has everything you need for it to be a good Batman film. Good villain, the Joker, Batman, they're dynamic, all of that. And I love that film. It's like one of the best theatrically released Batman films of all time. These movies are the same. They're fantastic films. I love these movies. They are the pinnacle of what you can do, what you can release in a theater. And even though they're animated, like they get their due, and the money shows that. Everybody likes the Tom Holland, the last Spider-Man movie that came out, No Way Home. Like, it was cool to see that. It was cool to see those characters come back. But that's the thing. The reason why that movie was so well made, was so loved by most people, was because we got to see Toby, we got to see Andrew. And for people like me who are Andrew stans, seeing him come back and get like a little redemption arc was fantastic. That was something that I needed since The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I'm really excited for these films. The Beyond the Spider-Verse, I'm expecting it to be the same, if not better. I can't wait to see what Prowler Miles it does.
That was a crazy shock, and he looks sick. He looks so sick.
The braids?
Yeah, with the braids. I was like, damn, Miles is looking like a badass right now.
And he has more of an accent, if you noticed. Yeah. When he talks, he has more of an accent like his mom, because his dad's gone, so he doesn't have that anymore. But yeah, I do really like that. I can't wait to see what they do. These are the pinnacle of Spider-Man movies. Like,
do you think we'll ever get a live action Miles?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
I'm in for it. I would be very curious who they cast as Miles for live action. Because you'd have to go, within the 14 to 17 age range, probably? Like,
I mean,
he's got to be a teenager, does he not?
Miles, when he started being Spider-Man, I think he was 13.
So, but teenager though, right? Like, you have to have a semi-younger actor to be Miles, I would think.
Yeah, if you want to continue it in the comic,
because you're not gonna get a grown ass man being Miles. I wouldn't think. Not for like his first live action appearance.
Yeah, because I think in the comic books when Miles first appeared, he was 13. But in the Spider-Verse movies, the first one, Into the Spider-Verse, I think he was 14 or 15. And then in this movie, he's supposed to be late 16, early 17.
Who would you cast as Miles? If they're like, all right, Christian, your movie's greenlit, make us a Miles Spider-Man.
I really don't know.
I don't.
Right off the top
I'm
of my
trying to
head.
think right now of like an actor around that age range, and I can't think of, because I feel like it's a certain body type, a certain look. Like,
Have you seen Cobra Kai?
yes, you thinking
There's a
um shit. I think I know who you're talking about.
the kid he plays. I think his name's like Kenny or something.
Yes.
That kid, I would right now, top of my head, that's the first person that I would go to.
Okay.
And if I wanted it to be an older Miles, that actually wouldn't work because he's a little darker for the character. I was gonna say
Because
Caleb
Miles is more of
McLaughlin, the
like kind of a
guy.
little more light skin, is he not? With
Yeah, because
having
he, you got to.
is it Puerto Rican or
I would
Dominican?
honestly.
What is? Because he said something in the beginning and threw me off. I thought his mom said she was Puerto Rican, but then when they say something about Spiderman, he's like, I don't know, he looks more Dominican to me. And I was like, well, damn it.
She's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
She's from Puerto Rico. Yeah. So yeah, there's a difference. But I would want to cast an actor who looked the part but also could deliver. So
you need a
thing.
clean shaven person too, because Miles I don't really think has. So you need to be like really clean shaved. Like we got some baby face.
Yeah, well you would need a younger person for sure.
Oh, dude, that's
a great question though.
That's a hard question. Listeners, who would you cast as Miles Morales? Throw us some fan theories and fan casting. I would love to hear who you guys. I'm gonna think about it this week, and I'm gonna try to get back to you on that next week. I want to really put some thought into this because it's gonna be harder. Oh, damn, I don't know. But do you have anything else about Across the Spider-Verse, dude? It definitely. I say the absolute lowest score I could give it, and I don't really have a reason to give it that, would be a 9. So I'm gonna say a solid 9.5. But I could also easily, if you told me a 10, I'd be like, okay. Like I don't have anything to nitpick.
I don't either.
It was very, very enjoyable. If you haven't watched it yet, ladies and gentlemen, go watch it. Do yourself a favor. Watch both of them. I highly recommend it. It is well worth your time. You're going to enjoy it from start to finish, or you should. Even if you have no knowledge of the stuff, I mean, the basic Spider-Man concept there, just enjoy. The story's good. The animation's good. The music's good. Like I said, it's not, they don't over Marvel humor it. Like you have enough that you laugh at like little parts, but it's not like overly done. It flows really well. There's not really any lulls that I can think of in either movie. Like the pacing's very good. It's well worth the watch for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we get into our last call question, there's one other thing I forgot to tell you that I started this week, Christian. You should be proud of me.
Okay.
So me and the missus like to play games together. We've played Diablo and stuff together. And I was like, you know what? I have a backlog of single-player games that may not have been able to stream or I didn't think would do well with, like, audience. And certain games and times I want to experience off-stream, as well as, for me, I know certain single-player games I don't necessarily want to watch because I don't want to spoil. So I definitely understand people having that same mindset, which can hurt my analytics and stuff like that. So I try to, like, it's a very, like, I kind of tiptoe that depending on feeling out like what the game is and stuff. So I have a backlog of stuff I want to play and experience for myself that I may not have been able to stream. And one of the games, I gave her a couple games that I may have started but I didn't get to finish. And we went with Death Stranding because we wanted to know what the hell is going on with that game first off, what the story is, because it was super vague in its promotional, like all the stuff leading up. So we've gotten some hours into Death Stranding. We're playing that, and I will tell you, I still have more questions than I have answers in that damn game because I'm like, what the shit is happening? What am I playing right now? The music and the environment is freaking gorgeous and amazing. The story, super sci-fi, crazy. So we'll see. I don't know. It's an adventure right now. That's all I know. Did you ever play Death Stranding?
No, I did not. I watched a little bit of gameplay, didn't understand anything.
Dude,
so I'm confused.
I can't compare it to any game, which is good as far as like uniqueness and doing its own thing, blazing its own path. But playing, I'm like, I don't know what to compare this to, because I just now got some kind of gun. This whole time I've been like a damn UPS Uber driver or something. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm out here running over rocks, tripping, falling into a damn river, losing my packages. I'm out here trying to wade in water, and I'm spinning in a circle, paddling, and I'm out there pissing on rocks and stuff, and mushrooms come up with a baby attached to me is screaming through my controller. I'm like, what am I playing right now? Like, what is happening? But it's an experience for sure. But I want to talk about that. I'll definitely bring that up, as we progress more. Hopefully I'll have some more hours into it next week. But let us know who you casting as Miles Morales. And we will talk about some other stuff, including Mortal Kombat, next week. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen, that we
pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your
whiskey.
As we go into last call question, and Christian, I believe you have one in the theme of the Spider-Man.
I do. My question is a simple one, but not simple to answer. Of all of the Spider people, who is your personal favorite Spider-Man?
Are we talking about live action or?
We're talking to all of them. We're talking live action, comic, video game.
Oh, wait, that's really hard. Because when you said that, I was thinking live action, which narrowed it down to essentially three actors.
I could ask you a separate question that's close enough, which is, of all of the Spider-Man, Spider people costumes, do you have a favorite Spider-Man costume? I have mine.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to break this down some. Live action, bottom is gonna be Toby. He's getting number 3. If I do those three, the three
for costume,
no, for Spider-Man.
Okay.
Toby was all we knew at the time, and I'm not saying it's awful. There is a lot of meme-worthy stuff, obviously, and it was cool. One of my biggest complaints is the whole Venom thing and all that stuff they did. I was not thrilled with that. God, this is tough. Look, I am one of the few people in the world that really like Garfield as Spider-Man.
Same.
I know he caught a lot of shit. I personally loved him as Spider-Man. Was the second one, did they screw up a lot of shit? Yes, 100%. They did Jamie Foxx dirty as hell. That was, they shit all over his stuff right there. Yeah, okay. Holland grew on me a lot. By the last one, I was like, okay. I don't know if it's because we've watched him grow up as Spider-Man, Spider-Man, from coming from the first appearance being Civil War. Was that it?
Yeah.
You've watched him grow up. I do like him as Spider-Man. Man, it's tough for me to pick between them two.
If I was picking my favorite,
I might have to still go
live
Garfield,
action,
just because I really do like Andrew Garfield and then Holland. But it's very close. I could flip-flop on days. As far as those three.
Yeah, if we're doing favorite Spider-Man live action, mine would be Garfield, Maguire, Holland. Holland's on the bottom for me for sure.
Wow.
Now, if you're gonna ask me who I think is the best one, the strongest one, Tobey Maguire is the strongest live action Spider-Man we've
Who is?
had.
Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire, 100%. Why? Toby, think about it this way. You saw Far From Home. You saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man fight Green Goblin. Full force punches to the Green Goblin's face, and they did nothing. He laughed at him. Tobey Maguire, full force punch to his face, snapped him out of being the Green Goblin. He immediately was like,
there's also an age difference, is there not?
It's not about the age difference. It's about the level of power that they attain.
I mean, maybe Tom Holland's nuts haven't dropped yet.
No, bro. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man literally held a fucking train, a bullet train.
See, some of that was a little overkill at the time, but that's all we had.
I'm just going off his feats. If you think about Spider-Man 2 again, another scene.
Look, that's all I have to say about Toby.
Oh man. With those
didn't see I'm doing the little whole snap. That was when he was he had the symbiote on him, right? He's walking down there with the emo hair and Jesus.
But just if you go back and look at Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man feats, what he's actually accomplished, what he's done, the people that he's fought, how hard he can hit and get hit, he's the strongest one. And then after that would be Maguire, then it would be Holland.
You mean it would be Garfield then Holland? You said Maguire twice.
Yeah, sorry.
He can't be 1 and 2, Christian.
Yeah, it's Maguire, then Garfield, then Holland, and levels of strength and levels of like what I prefer. It is Garfield, Maguire, then Holland still on the bottom for me.
So going back to the question, Miles has got to be up there for me. Miles is really interesting to me. I don't know if it's you're watching him grow as a kid, kind of like Holland, but Miles is like a different flair to Spider-Man than what you get from Peter. And it's I don't know. I really like Miles. I like the fact that he has abilities like the what'd you call that earlier? The shocking thing. He can also turn invisible. Blast. Like what the shit? Like he's got some dope abilities.
Every Spider-Man that's not Peter, they have different powers. Not everyone, but most Spider-Men that aren't Peter Parker have slightly different abilities.
Okay, now favorite suit. So there's 3 suits that come to mind right away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's hear them.
First one, Miles. I love not necessarily the Miles from this one. I like the Miles with the hood.
From Into the Spider-Verse when he's wearing a jacket.
Yeah, you have the jacket. For some reason, that's fire to me. I'm just like any kind of hood up like that. I'm like, ooh, okay, I see you. So I really like that. I do like the Across the Spider-Verse. The black suit, very nice. Obviously, black is something I wear a lot, so a black suit is automatically gonna draw me. Past that one, I may screw these up, so forgive me. I'm pretty sure it's Scarlet Spider, which is the clone, right? It's got like the ripped. Like the sleeveless on top of the suit or something?
Yeah, you could just call him Ben Reilly. That's the Ben Reilly Spider-Man.
He's a clone, right? He's like Peter's clone. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't go by Peter. He goes by Ben.
I know, but I'm saying he's a clone.
Yeah, okay. You're correct.
This Christian, I swear. I'm about to super kick you. But he's wearing like a cut off something over top of the suit, like a shirt or...
Cut off hoodie, yeah. You got it.
It's sick. Yeah. And the last one, I really like Spider-Punk. I don't know why. It cracks me up. That one's really good. I enjoy that one. So I would say those 3 are the ones that pop up, like initially, off the top of my head. What about you?
3 favorite Spider-Man costumes. Got to go with the OG Spider-Man costume. It's a classic. It looks really good. It's sleek. Can't go wrong with it. The colors match the suit perfectly. After that, probably it's the same Scarlet Spider suit with the cutoff hoodie.
It's really good.
I grew up reading that one. That was like the first Spider-Man that I read like a whole arc of because that's what was out when I was growing up with the Clone Saga. And then favorite suit of all time, absolutely the black Spider-Man suit. That's my favorite one. It's sleek. It looks good. Maybe not in live action, but in the comics, in the video games. Every time you have access to the black suit, that's what I'm going to choose every single time. It's great. There are suits that I like a lot that are like literally right neck and neck with what I just said. Miles' suit, his comic book suit, essentially like his original comic book costume, all black with the red. I love that. I know he has his suit for the 2 movies, and those are good. But in the first one, he was wearing like the Nikes most of the time. In the comic book, see, that's not really what he wears. He wears a more traditional Spider-Man comic book suit that he actually gets from Nick Fury. For those of you who didn't read the Spider-Man comics, the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, which Miles comes from, Peter Parker died fighting Green Goblin and saving a bunch of people. Miles was bit by the spider, and then assumed responsibility of being Spider-Man. But he literally bought a Spider-Man costume from a store and was wearing it, and everybody was telling him, man, that's in bad taste. That's in bad taste. He finally proves himself enough to Nick Fury. Nick Fury gives him his iconic Spider-Man costume, and that's where we get the Miles Morales black and red Spider-Man costume to differentiate himself from Peter, because he's not Peter. He's his own thing. He's doing his own thing, and I love those comics. I don't really collect a lot of Marvel comic books, but I will 100% collect Miles's entire run because he is one of my favorite Spider-Man, not because of the movies, but because of the comic books. I loved his story. I loved him coming up. I love what he did. I love how he proved himself. I loved his challenges that he had to face, his villains. I love all of that stuff. He had his own Clone Saga, which wasn't the best, but it was still fun to read. But yeah, he's gone through a lot of shit, and he's getting older now in the comics, and he's in our world now. He's part of 616, which is really cool. And I just like him, man. I like Miles a lot, and I hope they don't shit on his character too much. So he's really fun to read. And definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, those are my favorite Spider-Man costumes, characters, movies, live action, all that. So yeah, you got it.
All right. Well, let us know who are your favorite live action Spider-Man or Spider-Man of all time, as well as favorite costumes. We'd love to know your answers, as well as who you would cast as Miles Morales. But that's going to do it for this episode. And we appreciate you listening. But as always, if you want your last call question to be featured on an episode of the podcast, be sure to go to gilded.gg/sinisterpack in the application. Does put from the podcast, and there is a section dedicated just to last call questions, as well as Sinister Tales, where you can tell us about things that go bump in the night for us to talk about on the pod, or you can hit us up on the social media sites. Sippin With Sin, SIPPIN with Sin, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to think about where all we're at. We're wherever. Go follow and DM us those last call questions. Talk to us. Add us. All that good stuff. We love to hear from you guys. You can find new episodes every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time on the audio platform Spotify. Wow. I don't know what happened there. Spotify, Apple, Overcast, Anchor.fm, all that stuff. Google. Yeah. You can find us there, 8 a.m. every Wednesday, Central Time. Be sure to rate it 5 stars, share with a friend, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Keep spreading the word of the podcast. We really appreciate it. You can also find the video version of the podcast over on my personal YouTube, youtube.com/IamSinister. Be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, comment like Yobi does, because Yobi's a freaking legend. Yobi, shout out to you.
Thank you, sir.
Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Central Time, every week on my YouTube. You can find me on my personal streaming stuff. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Threads at IamSinisterTV, as well as TikTok at IamSinisterTV. Go check those out there. Show some love. I'd love to hear from you. You can find me streaming over at kick.com/IamSinister. You can find me on twitch.tv at IamSinisterTV. And then you can find me on facebook.com/IamSinisterTV. Christian, where can the lovely folks find you?
You guys can find me at Vin and Ink on Instagram. You can also find me on my own personal TikTok at my name, Christian Vincent, where I like to post movie reviews, book reviews, and some artwork. Other than that, you guys can find me on my own horror podcast, Twitter, which is Horrorverse Pod. We're actually Horrorverse Pod on all the socials, so if you want to get in touch with us, that's how you do it. But that's where you guys can find me.
All right. And don't forget, drink GFUEL, folks. Drink GFUEL, use code Sinister. Just saying. Makes you smarter or something. I don't know. It does something. Gives you superpowers. Makes you prone to slashers. I don't know. But that's it for this week. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. We're shutting it down for this week, and we'll be back next week. It's time for Christian to shut the doors, lock them tight, and close shop.
Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for joining us in another episode of Sipping with Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review on all the platforms and leave a comment. We love to read them all. We will start reading those comments as well live on the podcast. Say hi to us on all the social medias that we just mentioned. And before I leave you guys, I will leave you with 3 words that you've heard before. If you've been here, if you haven't, listen carefully because they might just save your life. And those 3 words are: don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.